O que é que distingue Panjim das outras cidades da ilha? Bem, em primeiro lugar, pelo que se diz, foi a única cidade construída de acordo com um plano. E em segundo, construída, ou melhor, transladado pedra a pedra de Velha Goa para aqui. Quem já esteve em Velha Goa e viu as igrejas e aqueles conventos monumentais, não pode deixar de dar aqui um pulo e deixar-se envolver por esta barulheira do tráfego, pelas casas de comércio, pelas pessoas. E onde é que vamos começar o nosso passeio? Pelo Largo do Estanque, ou Largo do Tabaco. Daquele lado temos Ribandar, que antigamente e ainda hoje liga Velha Goa a Panjim, e do outro lado temos bairros típicos como São Tomé, Fontainhas e Portais.
Ribandar was the hub of activity before entering Old Goa. If you look at the word Raibandar, it is made up of two words, Rai and Bandar. Rai means king. Bandar means a port. It was a port of kings. Now, why did they call it the port of kings? The viceroys who used to come over here, who was a representative of the king of Portugal, when he came, traveled all the way thousands of kilometers and came by ship to Goa, and he would formally enter the city of Old Goa, which was then called as Velha Goa. They would freshen up, they would get down, and then all the fineries, everything was done up over there, and then they would proceed to the jetty of Old Goa, where he would get down ceremoniously and enter the city of Goa through the Viceroy's Ark. There was this boat that was coming to Goa, and it got caught up in a big storm, and everybody prayed that please take us safely to, they prayed to Mother Mary, and they said that please take us to a safe port. And then they say that the Mother Mary appeared and directed the devil or whoever it was, to take safely to this, to the place. And when they got up in the morning, they realized that they had touched port at this place called as Ribandar. But the most important and beautiful part of this is there are two crosses over there. One is on the land, on the right next to the river Mandovi, on the northern side of the church, and one is in the water. The distance between these two crosses is 102 meters. That is the exact length of the boat, that had been safely brought to the port.
Mas antes de continuarmos o nosso passeio, encontramos com o Luís Dias, que recentemente organizou um ciclo de conferências para celebrar os 175 anos da Casa da Moeda.
I've been in touch with Casa da Moeda in Lisbon. They have sent me, when I visited them in August or September, they gave me a catalogue by one Damian Paris of all the coins issued in Goa from 1510 all the way to 1961. And there I had black and white photographs of the coins, which themselves are quite impressive, and that's really beautiful. I mean, you can still tell that the work is primitive and not very well finished, but the coins themselves are exquisite. You have coins like rupees, pardaus, half pardaus, and then among the copper coins we have reis, you have tangas, meya tangas, and these were the various denominations in the gold, silver and copper.
You have any idea why these names, they have any history behind, why it is, for example, São Tomé?
São Tomé was Saint Thomas, the apostle of India, and obviously had a lot of meaning in that respect. So I imagine that was the reason why they gave the name to that coin. And I think there's a coincidence, or maybe not a coincidence, that this Casa da Moeda was very close to the Capela de São Tomé, just a stone's throw away. That might have just been a coincidence, or it might have been some significance. I do not know. So that's the reason for calling coin São Tomé. Then you have coins called Manuel, because in the era of the descobrimento, you had Dom Manuel I, the ruler of the time, King Manuel I. So the coins were named after him. So that's the reason for calling them Manuels. Then you have serafins, which were borrowed from the Persian Serafi, which means noble. So that, but seraphim sounds very much like our Portuguese seraphim, which means, seraphim and cherubim, but it actually comes from the Persian seraphi, which was used in India for some time, and the Portuguese corrupted it to make it seraphims. Sfera basically comes from the armillary sphere of Dom Manuel I. So I think that is why it was called Sfera and Mayor Sfera, because it was half the value. Bazaruku, for example, comes from our bazaar. This was a very humble coin of copper, which was used for everyday purchases. So it became Bazaruku. Dom Manuel de Portugal e Castro, was not happy with the quality of the coins being minted in Vallecidade. So he ordered a commission, he appointed a commission to look into this matter, and as a result of the findings of that commission, the decision was taken to shift the mint here. Now how the quality would improve just by shifting it, I am not sure, but maybe it was one of the many measures taken, but it was taken as a result of this commission. And it was moved here. The decree to move it came on the, I think if I am mistaken not, on the 6th or 7th of October 1834, and he gave the order to strike rupees, pardaus, half pardaus from 12 mounds of silver, mounds being a unit of weight at the time, and to have reis and some other denominations of copper from so many arrobas of copper. And that the literature says that with this order, the mint started.
And why do you think they choose this place, Panjim, for the mint house?
I have a few theories. I just think this is the first place that you get, suppose you cross the Pato Bridge, the Ponte de Linares. It's one of the first places that you come to. So if you were going to be traveling from Old Goa, it would have been the most convenient place to have the site. Also, it is very accessible to the river. Now, if you from where we are sitting, it's not very obvious, but the entrance of the Casa do Medo was on this side, which is called the south side of the house, and the exit, if you like, or the opposite side of the house was the north side of the house, which faced the river. So you can imagine that there might have been possibly two entrances. One was a land entrance and a river entrance, like you have in Venice and other places which have rivers. So it's quite possible that the coins were issued here, struck here, and then sent to various parts of India by boat. So that might be the reason why it was sited here. The Portuguese arrived in 1510 with Afonso Albuquerque, and from that very year the Casa de Moeda started. In fact, the records say that the traders themselves approached him and said that we have a huge currency situation here, crisis, please help us. And he saw obviously an advantage where he could, by creating currency, he was asserting his dominion over the place. He created the mint, which he began to issue currency right in 1510. It was, as far as I can tell, the first overseas mint of the Portuguese. So that was in 1510. From then it moved on to Cochin and Malacca and other places very soon after. In Damao, some place called Chol and Basain, which is Vasai, all those places. But 1510 was the first mint, overseas mint in Velha Cidade de Goa, or just was known just as Goa at that time. And there it continued, it moved for a while to Panili, from Panili back to Old Goa, and then all these centuries later to Nova Goa. Then it went back to Old Goa. In 1842 it went back. It survived there until 1869. But you know, the Portuguese power was already on the decline, and in 1878 we have the monetary treaty between the English and the Portuguese, and by 1870 already it had been outsourced to the British India. So the mint, it was the Calcutta Mint and the Bombay Mint, and the currency was issued from there and used over here. There was one thing that I found interesting. I was wondering why 1834, and I was looking at what was going on in Portugal at the same time, and you have lots of mentions made that in 1835 an order was given to take away all the coins which had the face of Dom Miguel and strike new coins with Dona Maria the Segunda.
Why is that?
So this is a very interesting story which is part of Portuguese history. There was the reigning monarch in the 1820s called Dom João VI. Now he died very suddenly in 1826 without specifying which of his two sons, Pedro and Miguel, was going to be the successor. Now Pedro was the liberal, if I am mistaken not, and Miguel was the absolutist who was had the favor of the church. So now when he died in 1826, at that time Pedro, who later became Pedro IV, was Pedro I of Brazil. Brazil had attained independence in 1822, and this gentleman Pedro became Pedro I of Brazil.